Liberate IT is an Oracle NetSuite solution provider that has been servicing Australian and New Zealand companies since 2011.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you once again for joining the NetSuite 101 overview presented by Liberate IT. So today's panel is myself, which is Steve Parham, Sales Manager at Liberate IT, and our functional consultant, Michelle Cronje, who will be taking you through a demonstration of the software. But before that, what I want to do is just give you a bit of overview to Liberate IT as a company, also give you some background to NetSuite, and then I hand the mic over to Michelle, who will take you through a demonstration. As mentioned earlier, please, if you have any questions, fire them through to our customer questions panel, and we'll work through them. Okay, a bit about Liberate IT. So the company itself, we've been around since 2011. Our business model is solely on implementing, supporting, training on all things NetSuite. So we're proud to, before we started back in 2011, our owners have been in the accounting or ERP space for quite some time. So they wanted to find a system that was really suited to the small, medium-sized businesses in New Zealand, and they came across NetSuite. So Liberate IT as a company, that's all we're focused on NetSuite. So it's important for us as an organization to see the success of the product and also our belief as well. So we have over 80 customers throughout New Zealand, and we've also just expanded and opened up shop in Australia as well, and through an acquisition of another company, and that's been brought under Liberate IT, and we've got about 10 customers in Australia. So traditionally, this is how companies viewed different systems depending on the size of the organization. We have a separate accounting system, an inventory management system, a CRM system, and a support, and lots of spreadsheets. The idea of what NetSuite is, it is one single database, or what we call one version of the truth. So that allows for all the stakeholders, internal stakeholders, to view the system across from when leads come through to invoicing, and also extends out to your customers, your vendors, and your partners. So to give you an example of customers, so they'll be able to get, they'll have their own unique access to NetSuite to be able to get some quotes, to be able to get copies of the invoices and statements, and also if they have any support queries around relating to the system. And this is how traditionally old accounting systems were reviewed, depending on the size of the organization, from your small end of town to medium to large. Really the beauty of what NetSuite does, it's a scalable system. So we've got a small one-user manufacturing company in Wellington to our largest customer that has over 5,000 licensed users. So from your view, it's good to know that from a scalability point of view, once you invest into NetSuite, that system does grow with you. And the system is also modular based as well. So, you know, you can get NetSuite as just financials only, all the way through if you're in manufacturing. NetSuite has a full suite of manufacturing capabilities as well. So it's really understanding what your company needs from day one, but then also to being able to understand your growth plans and understanding the roadmap from where your company wants to head and the growth plans in the short term as well as long term as well. So a bit about NetSuite. So NetSuite's been around since 1998. It's built in the cloud since day one. So it's built to run your business. The platform itself is a point and click customization. So, and also the functionality of NetSuite. So it's got omni-channel, which is basically suited to retail and online sales. It's got ERP, which is enterprise resource planning. It's also got financials, services resource planning, which is around projects, sort of professional services space, supply chain management, CRM, and HCM, or human capital management. So really it's just understanding what you need from day one and your roadmap. So you could just get NetSuite as a standalone financials and then build on as the company grows or expands. NetSuite also extends out through a system called One World. So within the same system, you can also run multi-company, multi-entity environments in the one software. So for example, if you are a one-entity company and you're looking at purchasing another company or you're an existing company that's running multi-companies, NetSuite's One World will allow to manage that within the same system. So One World, if you're a multinational, has the ability to do that, but also a global accounts organization where you have subsidiaries globally. So it's all multi-country, it's all tax compliant, also has multi-languages and currencies as well. So these are the industries that NetSuite work really well in. So we've got clients in the software industry, services, advertising, media, publishing, non-for-profit, manufacturing, wholesale distribution, and retail. So at the end of the day, NetSuite is built around an accounting or financial system. And then being which industry that you come from, NetSuite is tailored, being a modular-based system, to really service that. So at the end of the day, NetSuite core is accounting financials, and then around that coupled with different modules. So for example, if you're in the wholesale distribution, there's a warehousing management module in NetSuite, which does barcode scanning, does warehouse management. So if you're in the manufacturing space, NetSuite's got simple manufacturing from work order and assemblies to the full suite of manufacturing, which is what we call advanced manufacturing, which just does work in progress, does capacity planning, production planning. So that's that MRP space. NetSuite's also got non-for-profit. So we've got clients in non-for-profit services. If you're in the billing, professional services, where it's time-based billing around contracts that you have with clients. So it's really, as I mentioned earlier, with NetSuite being a modular-based system, it's really understanding what you need from day one. So these are some of the features that NetSuite have out of the box. So again, you may not need this, but being modular-based, it's just understanding exactly what you need from NetSuite. So at a high level, so NetSuite does finance and accounting, NetSuite does billing, NetSuite does revenue management, financial planning, financial reporting, and global accounting consolidation. It also does order management, procurement, inventory, production, warehouse management, and supply chain management. And moving on to the next slide, NetSuite has CRM, HCM, which is human capital management, and project management. So NetSuite as a standard at its core system also has an ecosystem of what we call suite apps. So within the platform itself, we have a lot of third-party companies that have developed their apps within NetSuite, but also has a strong integration if the system sits outside of NetSuite. So to give you an example, this company, Infinite Cloud, have built a payroll system in NetSuite. So that's all payroll, that's compliant to New Zealand, KiwiSaver, superannuation, government taxes and compliances. And then we've got a client called another suite app partner called True Cloud Solutions. And they've developed their point of sale software within NetSuite. So the beauty of NetSuite, if NetSuite can't do it as a core, it also extends up to its ecosystem of applications to be able to manage that. So we have over 300 plus partners or suite applications in NetSuite's ecosystem. So NetSuite out of the box is really built to start when it comes to implementation. It has a quick deployment. So a lot of the BI, a lot of the components in NetSuite come out of the box. It's just a configuration based on your requirements, because we've come across a lot of organizations that have different requirements and different needs to how they want NetSuite. So out of the box, it has all those components, but then it's just configuring the system to your requirements. So NetSuite is also mobile. So we've got NetSuite you can download through iOS for your Apple devices, or through Android through Google Play for those Android devices out there. So it's important to know that the software application is one thing suited to your business, but it's also important to have a partner such as Liberate I.T. That's going to take you through their journey if you are implementing or you're looking at NetSuite. So just as a high level when it comes to our approach to implementation, so at the start of the project, we start the workshop, which is 2 days sitting with our clients, understanding their process mapping requirements, their business designing. We put together a project plan which lists out the tasks and deliverables. We'll talk about data migration and any integration as well within the other systems that you want NetSuite to integrate to. Then throughout the project, there's configuration and process design, user acceptance testing, we have training, then we have go live in month end. And then once that's all completed with go live in month end, we just do a project closeout. Basically just go through a list of requirements to make sure that everything has been ticked off throughout the project. And then once we've done that, then we present a support agreement. Something that we always encourage all our clients to think about is if they're looking at implementing NetSuite or implementing NetSuite as we speak on an existing customer, is think about having a NetSuite champion. So that's an internal user within your organization, but then that person is also the power user. That person is also going to be the person that's going to be able to do such things as workflow processes, approval processes as an example. And then also another example is this person is going to be that go-to person. Because once you've implemented NetSuite, there's so much that the software can do. We are just scratching the surface. So rather than paying Liberate IT to do that, although we are going to be close by, but having that NetSuite champion being that internal resource is really going to take the system to that next level. And throughout the implementation, we always talk about risk management and how we're going to mitigate risk. We have project meetings throughout the implementation. And then different types of implementation where it's shared, where it's a collaborative implementation where we work with your team throughout the implementation. The beauty of that is we pass a lot of our training and our IP onto your team, but then also it helps keeps costs down as well when it comes to implementation. All the other approaches fixed, where you pay us a fixed amount and we install and implement NetSuite. So these are some of the organizations that use NetSuite globally. So there are some local companies that use NetSuite here in New Zealand, and then there are also companies that use NetSuite globally as well. So there are some common household names that use NetSuite, really to help power their business and take them into the future. So Liberate IT, we've been doing this for quite some time now, and it's usually the common themes that we come across. We're talking to organizations that are evaluating NetSuite, companies that are trying to find a system that's reliable and accurate. You can access it anywhere at any time. It's easy to use, and it's mobile and it's scalable. The ability to integrate to other systems seamlessly, automatic upgrades and maintenance. So NetSuite, in terms of the software itself, so it's an annual fee that you pay. And the beauty of that is inclusive of that comes with all your upgrades and maintenance, backups and security. So from an infrastructure point of view of NetSuite being cloud, you don't need to worry about that anymore. NetSuite takes care of that. NetSuite also has comprehensive reporting and complete business management solution because it is all going to be in the one system. So you're not running disparate systems. We have different systems and trying to integrate and link them all. NetSuite will manage that. So with that, it gives you full visibility across the organization from the moment a lead comes through all the way through to invoicing. So it's from management, from a user point of view, it just gives you that full visibility. So just before I hand it over to Michelle, I just wanted to send out a quick poll just to understand the audience that we have in today's presentation. So if you could just tell me, I'm just launching a poll. Just want to find out the audience today and what role you play in your organization. So I'll give you a few seconds to answer that. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, so it looks like the audience we have today is 50-50 split. So we've got a few of the audience from the finance admin team, and the other half is sort of sales and customer service. So that's really good to know. So it gives us a good indication of what are the key things that we can take you through of today's presentation. So I'll close that, and then I will hand the microphone over to Michelle. And again, please, if you have any questions, please click those questions through in our customer portal, and then we'll pause from time to time and we'll take you through those questions and answers. So Michelle, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me all right?
I can. So I'll just make you the presenter, and it's over to you.
Awesome. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can see your dashboard clear. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Hope you had a really good long Easter weekend. And as Steve mentioned, I'll give you a quick overview of NetSuite. So I will start off with NetSuite dashboards, and I will take you through to NetSuite CRM, and then ending it with some transactions and then some reporting available to you in NetSuite. Just as a reminder, this is going to be a brief overview. If you do need something a bit more specific, you can just pop an email to Steve and we can schedule a demo with you. So first of all, once you open NetSuite, it will open up on your home dashboard. And the dashboard in NetSuite is a visual platform that that's uniquely created and set up for each user to ensure maximum efficiency and ease of use. So obviously I am in my administrator role, so this role has access to everything and permissions to everything. So it will depend on the user role that you have, what dashboard you will see. And what's great about NetSuite is you can actually set up dashboards for your personnel as well. So if you are the sales manager, you can set up a uniform dashboard for all your sales reps. And then you can publish it to those roles. So each sales rep will come with the custom sales dashboard that you've set up for them. So first of all, we're going to have a look at probably the most used portlet, and it's called the Reminders Portlet. So the Reminders Portlet shows you important tasks of selected types that are usually past due or soon to be completed. So if I have a look at my Reminders Portlet setup, currently I've got your invoices overdue, and you've got a bunch of standard NetSuite Reminders Portlet. So these come standardly, and these will depend on your permissions, what you have available as a standard portlet or standard content. And then you've got custom reminder portlets. So if you don't see standard portlets, you can create a custom reminders saved search that would give you the information that you require. So for instance, I've got invoices overdue, which is a standard NetSuite portlet, but you don't have a standard portlet for invoices overdue greater than 120 days. So what I've done is I've created a saved search, pulling that data and giving me all invoices overdue for 120 days and over. So what I've got here, you also have the ability to actually log or click onto the reminders link. So if you go to, or if I click on that invoices overdue, it will open up the report that it's pulling that information from. So as an accounts receivable clerk or a creditors control or credit controller, I can then go log in here and I can easily navigate to each and every single one of these invoices overdue and follow it up. Next, you also have the ability to highlight your reminders. So it's really easy to do. So you can just click on the little edit pencil, and then you can say whether or not you want to display it as a headline. So this is what a headline will do. And then you can add highlighting conditions on there as well. So it's really easy. So you can highlight all the important and make them as headlines so that you know these are the most important reminders to look at. Next, you've got your KPI Portlet or Key Performance Indicator Portlet. So this portlet shows you key business metrics to help measure staff performances. NetSuite provides you with over 100 standard KPIs, but it also gives you that ability to create your own KPIs. For instance, I used to be in sales, so we used to have a KPI to track phone calls. So I had to make over 100 phone calls or new phone calls to customers each week. And what you can do is you can create a standard or a custom KPI that can track that. So this week versus last week. So you can track your KPIs that way as well. So you have that full ability to create your own KPIs. Next, you've got your KPI meters and then your trend graphs. So with a KPI meter, it draws from your KPI or key performance indicator portlet set up. So you can only select KPIs that are set up in your key performance indicators portlet. So a KPI meter is really just a visual representation of what you see in your key performance indicators. So if I'm going to go and set it up, I can actually go, that's my inventory today versus last or same day as last month. I can click save, and then what I can do is I can just open that up again. And as you can see, it gives me what my inventory looks like. I can go, well, I want to see what my pipeline weighted looks like. And you can set up to, I think, 5 KPI portlets. So you're not constrained just to one. So that is something really amazing about NetSuite, and it gives you that nice little visual KPI. Next, you've got your key performance or your trend graph. And this is just another visual representation. So with 2019.1, NetSuite actually gives you the ability to measure 3 different KPIs on this trend graph portlet. So it would give you a trend graph of 3 different KPIs that you can set up by clicking on setup. And then what you can do is you can set up more than one KPI on there if you have been updated on the new 2019.1 version. If you don't have the 2019.1 version, you will not be able to select different KPIs. So just hang tight until you have been updated to the 2019.1. You will know whether or not you have been updated by looking at the link at the bottom over here. Next, I really want to talk to you about is your calendars, your calendar portlet and your tasks and phone calls. So your calendar portlet comes in handy when you are a sales or part of the sales team, because what is great is you can view more than one person's calendar. So if I want to have a look at my sales team calendar, I can select it and I can see what my sales team looks like. You can also set up specific calendars. So if you have Marsha in your sales team, she can set it up so that you can view her calendar, and then you can set up an additional calendar. So you've got up to 5 calendars that you can set up on your home dashboard. Another great thing that NetSuite allows you to do is it allows you to actually add and track your activities on your calendars. So an activity in NetSuite would be either a task assigned to an employee, phone calls, or it could be an event, so a customer event. So if you have a customer visit that you need to go do, you can set it up as an event and you can view it. And as you can see, I've already set up a few. So I've got my weekly team meetings in here. So it's really great. And you have this little plus sign, so you can add a new event, call, or task. So events and tasks and calls aren't just for your sales team. It can be used by your accounts receivable team. So if you want to chase up a customer credit and you know that the customer is only going to be back next week, you can schedule it. So you can go click on it, and then you can go, I want to click a task or create a task. And then you can call it whichever you want. So if it's a task on the CRM side, you can call it something that you want to do on the CRM side. So if you maybe want to do some investigation on a new lead, you can set up that task for you. Or if it's like a month-end task for your accounts receivable team, so if they need to follow up on an invoice, so you can go follow up on invoice, and then you can give the invoice number. You can also link that invoice, so you can say that it's for this customer. So you can go, well, I want to link it to a customer record, and it should be for Albert Williams, and it's for invoice 1020, and I need to follow something up because they haven't paid it. You can also add a bit more detail as to what you need to follow up. You can also assign it to someone else. So if you are the accountant and you want your accounts receivable clerk to follow up this invoice, you can go, well, Roy needs to follow this up. You can say that we want to notify assignee by email. You can say whether or not it's a low, medium, or high priority. And then next you can say what status. So if Roy gets this task assigned to him, you can say that, oh, he's currently working on it, or he can say that he's already completed the task. And once you hit complete a task, what NetSuite would do is it will pre-populate the date completed field in here. So once I actually go in progress, it will remove the date completed. So that's really great. You don't actually have to manually go and set the date completed. You can also reserve a time. So if you've already spoken to Roy and he said, yes, he has Friday free at 10 o'clock, you can go and you can set it up. You can say that, great, it's going to be for Friday the 26th. And we are going to, or he's going to book this time aside. And what NetSuite would do is we'll link that time into his calendar for him. You can also set up a reminder, so you can say whether or not it's going to be in his browser or email, or whether or not he does not want a reminder. Next, you can say how long before he needs to get that reminder. So if it's 15 minutes before, you can just pop 15 minutes before, and NetSuite would automatically link that 15 minutes. You also have your communication, so any additional user notes can go in here, and you can also track time against this. So if you do track time, you can track time against this task. Next, you also have your availability, so you can have a look here and see that Roy is available Friday the 26th most of the day. So that is something really handy in NetSuite. So going back to my home dashboard, you can also set up a portlet called tasks, and this will give you all the tasks that are assigned to yourself on this portlet. You also have this phone calls portlet. So in NetSuite, you can either schedule phone calls or you can track phone calls that has already been done. So for instance, if I know that I've already contacted my customer X, Y, and Z, I've just got off the phone, I can easily add a phone call and I can say that this is what we have discussed. You can do that same thing for your accounts receivable, even accounts payable. So it's, as I said, tasks and activities aren't just for your sales team, it can be monitored. So if you have already sent through a remittance to your customer or a supplier, you can make that note saying that I've sent this remittance through on this date, or a customer or a vendor contacted me requesting a remittance, you can make it as a phone call and you can log that through on the vendor record. So I'm going to use the typical scenario of scheduling a phone call as a sales representative. So what I can do is I can use either my calendars portlet, or I can use my phone calls portlet to add a new phone call. So it's really quick. You can just go new phone call, or you can add that plus sign and go new phone call. On here, you can say that I want to schedule a phone call for Friday the 26th. I want to reserve a time out, and I want to say that I'm going to call them from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. or it's going to be a half an hour phone call maximum, because it's really just to get to know, to understand this new lead. So you can go new lead requirements. And then you can add related records on there as well. So you can go to company and you can say that I only want to have a look at my customers, and then you can find your lead record on here and link it to that lead record. You can also assign a contact on there. So currently there's no contacts assigned to this lead record. So this is really great. You can also add your reminders. You can also check your availability, etc. And you can track your time should this be required. Now, the same with events. You can do the same. You can add a user event by just clicking on the little plus sign. You can go event, and then you can say the attendees who will all be on that event. You can say which location this event would be. You can add a customer on there as well. So it's really great. NetSuite allows you to track all of this on a CRM point of view. Next, we've got your global search. So what's great about NetSuite is global search basically searches everything in the database. So if I go Pippa, NetSuite will pull up all information relating to my record type or relating to a record that has Pippa in it. So as you can see, we've got call Pippa to follow up as an event. We've got a phone call, Pippa called reference, and then you have your contact reference and phone call. But if I'm looking for a specific record, so I'm looking for the contact Pippa. So as you can imagine, the more you use NetSuite, the longer the list would be when I do enter my Pippa contact. So what I can do is I can use prefixes to narrow my search down. So what I'll do is I know that I'm looking for my contact Pippa, so I'll go for the first 3 letters as my prefix, so CON for contact, and then I'll put my colon in there, and then I'll go Pippa. And as you can see, it will bring up my contact Pippa Malcolm. Now in NetSuite, a contact is a separate record. So it's separate from your suppliers and customers. So what's great is this allows you to link a contact to multiple customer records or to multiple records. So if Pippa is maybe a contractor and she contracts out to 3 of my customers, I can link this on her record, and I can actually go that she's working for a cab or Smith Supplies and Allen's Computer Care, and I can track this on my contract record. You can have a look at all communications, so all emails sent from the system will be tracked on the contract record, and if they are for a specific invoice or relating to a specific company, that would also be pulled through to that company record. It will also show any activities, so any phone calls made, tasks set up, any events that they went out to will be tracked on here. You can also link files on here. So if this contact has a specific contract that you want to attach to them, you can do that by simply attaching this file. Then you've got your address record. So this is all the addresses. So if this customer contact has more than one address that they work from, you can add it on the address field here. Any marketing related marketing subscriptions campaign sent out will be logged against this contact. And then yet again, any support cases related to this contact will also be on this. And then you've got this very useful system information subtab that tracks all the changes made relating to this record. So each and every single record type in NetSuite would have the system information, and it would also tell you who's made the changes, what the old value is, and what the new value is now. Another great thing about NetSuite, it allows you to actually navigate through to your company or customers. So I can simply click on Alan's computer care, and that would take me through to my customer record. So in NetSuite, you also have the ability to track the customer stages. So you can track lead, prospect, and you can also then go through to the customer. And this is all automatic. So if you have a lead record and you create an opportunity on that lead record, NetSuite would automatically convert that lead into a prospect. And you can also create, from that opportunity record, you can create a quote, and from a quote you can create a sales order. And once it turns into a sales order, NetSuite will create that as a customer record, because then it will see it as a customer now. Next, on your customer record, NetSuite tracks all kinds of information on your customer record. So you've got your sales rep, so it allows you to link a sales rep to a specific customer. It will give you all the information, so phone, contact information, email addresses. So this would generally be the account's email address or someone in accounts that you would add on here. Then you've got your address here. So if there's more than one address, you can add additional addresses on here, but it would add your default billing address as the address on here. But you can also set that there's a default shipping and default billing if they are different, or you can say that both these are the default shipping and billing. You've got your information subtab, so here's where you would see all the contacts relating to this customer. So we've got George, Alan, Jim, Smythe, and Pippa Malcolm as contacts logged onto this customer. It will also show any relating activities relating to this customer, so any phone calls made will be tracked on this customer record here as well. Any messages, so any emails sent out, etc., will be recorded on this sub-tab over here. You also have your user notes, system notes, and then opportunities and transactions. So opportunities, really, you're not going to have, it's not a transaction, it's just what the customer would be interested in. And then you've got your transactions, which would be your quotes, sales orders, invoices, etc. So you have the ability to narrow it down through filters, or you can say that you want to view all types and just give it a few moments, and then it would give you all transactions relating to this customer. So any payments, returns, authorization, sales orders, invoices that have been generated would now appear on here. You can also view items. So on here you can see when was the last purchase time, or what was the last item that was purchased. Or you can go that we want to see which items this customer orders the most of. So as you can see that they do use our implementation charges quite a lot. So it's really great to track this, especially when you are a sales rep, to have a look and see what they use mostly and what you can interest them in going forward in future. Next, you've got your cases. So in relating support cases, if you do have support management, will be tracked on the customer record here as well. And then you've got your campaigns. So any campaigns sent out, any files relating to this customer, and then if there's any sub-customer, so if there's that parent-child customer relations. And then this is a custom jobs subtype created. Next, I want to show you is your financial tab. So here you can see what the customer's balance is, what the consolidated balance is. You can also have a look and see any unbilled orders, any overdues, how many days are overdue for this customer. You can also add a hold onto this customer account. You can see what terms are for this customer, and you can also set a credit limit for this customer as well. I want to go back to our transactions. So I just want to show you how easy it is to convert a quote into a sales order from NetSuite. So I'm just going to go and edit any one of these quotes. So I'm going to click on quote number 59. I will just give it a moment, and my internet's a bit slow today. And there's obviously, it's a demo account, so there's a lot of things working in the background. So you have this sales order, cash, sale, and invoice. And what NetSuite would do is once you click on that, that would automatically create a sales record from this quote that I've created. Obviously, this quote has expired. You also have the ability to say that all quotes need to be automatically expired within 30 days. So it's really easy. You can just click sales order. And what NetSuite would do is would take all this information that's on here and generate it into either sales order, cash sale, or invoice, depending on which one you have selected. So NetSuite, as I said, is a bit slower on our demo accounts just because of all the scripts running in the background. Now, as you can see, NetSuite has generated this quote into a sales order. In here, I can make fields mandatory or not mandatory. So I can say that this purchase order number is the number that I have for my customer, or that was received through. It would automatically go through to a status pending fulfillment unless you've got a sales order approval writing on there. It would say that it's pending approval or supervisor approval. A sales rep, so you can either assign a sales rep or you can automatically generate a sales rep. So it just depends on how you want to deal with it. Then what it would do is it would create this item and pull that item through. You can also add any additional items in here. So you can go that I want to add additional items. The customer contacted me and it said that they want to add X, Y, and Z, and then I can go ahead and add those items on there. So I'm just going to go back to one of my, or to my customer record, and I'm just going to go back to my transactions tab and go to an existing sales order. So I don't want to be creating that as a sales order just yet. So I'm going to open up all existing sales orders in here, and as you can see, it says here any sales orders that are pending fulfillment, whether or not they're partially fulfilled or pending billing. So I'm just going to go to this 303, which is my sales order pending fulfillment. And on this, NetSuite would either commit any order. So what it's basically saying is that there's 5 back ordered, 0 have been 0 are available, and 0 have been committed. Now, as you can see, it shows that there is 281 available, but it could be that those 281 have already been committed to other sales orders and they just haven't been fulfilled just yet. You can also create a dropship or a special order from your sales order. So if I go to my special order, what NetSuite would do is it would generate a purchase order based on that one item that I've selected. It also works on preferred suppliers. So these purchase orders have different preferred suppliers or vendors that it uses. So if I clicked on this purchase order over here, as you can see, 287 is one purchase order. That's because they have the same, or these items share the same preferred supplier in NetSuite. So if I go on here, I can create my special order based off of that. And then what I can do is I can simply save this purchase order. And then what I can do is I can receive this purchase order, and then this would automatically be committed to my sales order, and I can then bill that purchase order. So if I go to that purchase order, it's saying that it's pending approval. So once it has been approved, so let me just edit this and change it to approved. Obviously, if you have some approval writing set up, it will depend on what you can do. So I'm just going to click receive on this purchase order over here, or this purchase order item. And then I am just going to go save, or you can go save and bill. There we go. And on your item receipt, you can also link any landed cost bills relating to this item receipt. And that would then add it onto the item for you. So as you can see, I've just receipted this item in. Now if I navigate to my sales order, you can see that 5 have just been committed to this sales order for me. So I can see that I can now fulfill the 5 for the sales order that I've received in, and I can see that I'm still waiting for the others to arrive in. So NetSuite is smart enough to commit those items relating to that purchase order specifically, or order specifically for this sales order. And here you go. So I will say that I am only, it's going to allow me because it's saying that there is items available for this, but if I already created a purchase order, I only want to do that. I can key in a serial number in here, and then I can go save and bill. And then this would automatically bill the 5 that I've receipted in. And as you can see, it has created a bill for the 5 items that I have fulfilled and sent through to my customer. The next thing, I will just click save on that. And now you would be able to either accept the payment, credit this invoice for your accounts payable or accounts receivable, can then simply go accept payment if they've paid it, or if they need to create a credit or returns authorization. I see we are running short of time, so I'm just quickly going to go through some of the standard reports in NetSuite. So NetSuite has quite a few standard reports available, and they have categorized their reports quite well. So under financial, you will find your profit and loss, comparative profit and loss, balance sheet, etc. Available to you. You've got your banking and budgeting. You've got your sales, so here you can see sales by item, sales by rep, etc. Then you've got your sales orders. So NetSuite has really just made this really good. So you've got your vendors / payables, you've got your customers / receivables, where you will have your AR, aging, etc. You also have the ability to customize your reports. So in NetSuite, we use your segments. So you've got class, department, subsidiaries, and location. So subsidiaries will only be available if you have one world. If you do not have one world, you will not have subsidiaries available to you. But in here, I can say that I want to break down my profit and loss according to class. So if you've got certain classes, so here we've got corporate sales, we've got flowers, retail, business, and as you can see, it's breaking it down. So you no longer have to create a sales account for corporate sales or a sales account for flowers, because NetSuite uses segments to report on class, department, etc. So this really just cleans up your general accounts or your accounts as a whole. Next, you've got your customize. So if you want to, you can add additional fields in here. So you can go and you can say that I don't want to just see the financial row and amount. I want to add additional accounts, or I want to add additional fields in here. So I want to maybe see my customers' email addresses in here. You can add that depending on the report that you're in. So that is everything for the overview. If you have any questions, feel free to type them through, and then Steve will just read them out to me, and I will see whether or not I can answer those questions for you.
Hi, Michelle. Yes, the only question I had that came through, which I pretty much covered off, was around the OCR scanning. I had a question that came through asking about the scanning invoices into NetSuite, and I referred them to the Scan & Capture, which is a third party or Suite app partner that I sent through the link for our chat. But other than that, no questions. I think, yeah, you covered everything off. Do you have anything else to talk about, Michelle, before I wrap things up?
No, I don't have anything else. I think I covered everything that I wanted to.
Excellent. Look, Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for taking our audience today through a demonstration. We had quite a packed house today. Look, if you have any questions, as Michelle had suggested, please feel free to email us. There's more information on our website. On behalf of Liberate IT, I want to thank you all for attending this morning's presentation by Liberate IT. We run these sessions every fortnight. We'll also send you a copy of the link in today's presentation. Thank you all for your time today, and you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
We hope this video gave you the information you were after. If you have any further questions, get in touch with us using the links in the description. At Liberate IT, we can provide free consulting to understand your business system requirements, understand your company growth plans, and provide free NetSuite demonstrations. For more information, visit our website.